That's one of the great attractions, obviously, about being an actor, is that you can take on different roles, hopefully. I mean, a lot of people I know just want to do the same thing, but it's just never been of interest to me. I just want to keep shape-shifting, and this was just a really intriguing role. I liked the idea of playing an action hero. I hadn't done it. You know, I started to go gray and thought maybe this is how I live out my midlife crisis. I become an action hero. Other people don't have that opportunity in life. They just buy a Porsche, but I choose to kind of, you know, become the commander-in-chief of a sort of counter-terrorism unit.
150 years of achievement. That's something not many other companies can say. What started out as a small dye manufacturer is now the largest chemical company in the world. But at BASF, that's just the beginning. We're a company that thinks and plans for the long term. We're focused on the next 150 years.
So the Coatings division has a great story to tell. We've grown by $200+ million over the last 4 or 5 years. We have the best profitability of any division within BASF. So there's really a lot to be proud of. BASF's going to succeed for the next 150 years because we have a tremendously broad portfolio. We have a tremendous stable of talent, very innovative company, very strong asset base, global footprint. We have everything we need.
So we're here at our North America team meeting. Once a year, we typically get all our employees together where we can celebrate successes, showcase best practice examples, and come together as a team to align what we want to do for the next 12 months. When we're here, we bring people up on the stage, we celebrate their success, but in particular, we call out 2 key awards. One is the North America Salesperson of the Year. In 2014, that's going to be Ray McCutcheon, who did great work with distributors, adding new locations, and protecting his business that led to him delivering excellent value to BASF. Performance is not just in the sales organization. High performance is across the entire automotive refinish business. For 2014, we've created a new award, and that's the North America Employee of the Year. For 2014, Gordon Ardelian, who's the Limco brand manager, has been nominated and accepted as the winner of this award. What's Gordon done? Gordon has a positive attitude, he's delivered performance results, but more than anything, he's displayed the behaviors that we look for when we create chemistry. So as part of our NATM, we come together and we spend time working on things, but we also like to have a little bit of fun. One evening we went bowling. As you can see from the screenshots here, not everybody's at the same standard when it comes to bowling. However, the important aspect is people come together. They talk, they learn, they share best practices, and with this they build trust. That's how we create chemistry.
Not everyone made a strike, but BASF team members are the best at what they do. And what they do is make BASF's Coatings and Refinishing division the most profitable division in all of BASF. That is worth celebrating. And that is why BASF is looking forward to the next 150 years. BASF. We create chemistry.
Well, I look back at that journey from what it used to be, the High Museum Richard Meier building, to the Renzo Piano and Richard Meier High Museum of today. I would say that it's a sense of great pride that I look at that expansion because it has brought to our table capabilities that we never dreamed of. And I think we really did answer the call of the 100+ names that are on those granite slabs out there in front. We did answer their call. We did achieve greatness. We do have a major art focus for Atlanta that the world now recognizes.
Development brings a lot of great opportunities to our community. An expanding tax base, better jobs, which leads to better city services and even better schools. But it also means we must deal with the challenges that can sometimes come as a result of new businesses and residents coming into the city. We all want development, but we want development done the right way.
Stabat Mater is a large-scale choral orchestral work that uses the traditional medieval Latin texts interspersed with modern English poetry. The Latin texts, sung by the chorus, are a powerful poetic narrative of Mary standing at the foot of the cross, reflecting on the suffering of her dying son. One of the things I wanted to achieve in this work was, in some sense, to disperse the surface religiosity and get to the core humanistic content. Here is a parent enduring her own emotional agony, watching helplessly as her child dies. These texts are deeply moving in their own right, but to find modern parallels, I used 3 20th century poems by mothers who had lost children under a variety of adverse and tragic circumstances. I set those for soprano soloist and a smaller, more intimate chamber group.
When television started to really become popular and the movies had to respond with something, one of the responses was to widen the screen, Cinerama. And Fox, Spiros Skouras, president of Fox at the time, decided to patent an old anamorphic squeeze process that had been developed in 1926 by a French scientist, Dr. Chrétien. So they got the rights to that, and what it did was it took a regular picture and squeezed it twice, and then in projection squeezed it back out, and it ended up with a format, aspect ratio of about 2:4:1. Fox became so convinced that it was the way to release all their films that they mandated that so many films would be made that way. But there were technical problems with the CinemaScope lenses at the time. It was a dual lens system. There was the regular lens that was traditional, which was a spherical lens. And then there was another attachment, which was the Jean Chrétien attachment, which went in front of it and provided the squeeze. And both of those lenses had to be focused separately. It's called a hypergonal system. And the first generation of them, required 2 focus pullers. The problem with the lenses were inherent in trying to integrate the anamorphic elements into the regular lens. And what happens is, as a character moves closer to the screen, gets larger in the screen, the anamorphic squeeze becomes diminished. It's less effective. So they're less squeezed, so that when it's then unsqueezed in projection, the face starts to get wider in order to maintain the aspect ratio. And that's called the anamorphic mumps. And you see it a lot in the extreme close-ups in The Innocents. Especially if they're on the edge of the frame, you see this sort of slightly bloated face. I mean, it's not uninteresting, especially for a film like this, that is sort of a Gothic film. It's sort of an effective device, even though it's kind of primitive and it was considered a fault.
A person's experience and the emotions they feel when participating in our event often determine how engaged they become with our organization. If we can create a more personal experience, we can increase recruitment of walkers and donors, leading to more funds raised for our mission. In this section, we'll discuss some of the key ways we are using online fundraising to create that personal and emotional connection.
Today, we will share our online fundraising areas of focus for 2014. You'll hear about proven strategies we need to remain focused on, as well as some new strategies that will further engage participants once they're registered.
From the moment our participants register, we want to pull them in and engage them with the American Heart Association, ultimately leading to more funds raised. In a few moments, you'll hear about the powerful new ways we're reaching out to our participants in a more personal way than ever before.